Have you ever felt like two totally different forces are pulling you in opposite directions? Like, imagine the confidence of a lion and the solidness of a bull all mixed up inside.
It's a fascinating combination, right? Those powerful contrasting energies and how they work together. That's what we're going to explore today.
Welcome to ASTRALX. I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist, and we are here to help you light up your cosmic path.
I'm Lineria Celine, your intuitive guide, and today we're focusing on a man with a very specific and intriguing astrological blueprint, Leo Rising Taurus Sun.
We're using Leo Rising Taurus Sun, 2025 Cosmic Guide for Men, to really dive into this. So let's start with a picture. Think of the energy of a Leo, so vibrant and magnetic, naturally drawing people in. And then blend that with the grounded, practical nature of a Taurus.
You get this amazing mix, someone who can command attention but also craves deep, meaningful connections. A leader who's also a rock, outward confidence with this inner strength.
It's that blend of being the life of the party while also needing those truly authentic connections.
Exactly. And did you know that Taurus also has this unique link to psychic ability? We'll come back to that later. But first, let's look at what the year 2025 has in store. Imagine it like a cosmic tapestry full of opportunities, but also maybe a few snags to work through.
The guide says 2025 is a turning point, but not necessarily smooth sailing from the get-go. So how can our listener prepare for those potential bumps in the road when it comes to relationships, especially early in the year?
Well, you see, that early part of the year, especially with Saturn's influence, might bring some delays or even roadblocks in relationships. Saturn, you see, is known as the taskmaster planet, so it can sometimes bring delays or challenges, but it also helps you build a really solid foundation. Think of it like the cosmos is pushing you to make those bonds even stronger. And this is where that grounded Taurus energy is going to be so helpful. You'll have the patience and determination to get through anything.
So it's almost like those delays are actually pushing you to really look at your commitments and build something much stronger. What's interesting to me is it's not automatically a bad thing. It's more like a chance to look inward and grow.
Precisely. A time for some serious introspection and growth. But later in the year, as Jupiter takes a more prominent position, things start to brighten up.
Jupiter brings a more positive outlook.
Absolutely. Especially in the second half of 2025, the guide points to a wave of professional success and financial gains coming your way.
Time to shine. But I have to ask, does that just mean he'll be climbing the corporate ladder? What about that Leo need for something more? Something with a little flair?
That's a great question. It's true that you'll probably see professional opportunities and even financial rewards coming in, but this could also be the year where you explore starting your own business or find a career path that lets you express your creativity more. With Jupiter in the 10th house, which rules career and public image, this could be your year to step into a leadership role that truly feels like you should.
A path less traveled, maybe, but one that's more aligned with his soul's purpose.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, before we get too far ahead, let's go back to love and relationships for a minute. Can you tell us more about how those potential early challenges might show up?
Well, remember how we talked about Saturn's influence in the beginning of the year? It can bring up some deeper issues that need to be addressed. Things like communication, commitment, even figuring out roles within a partnership. All of that will become more important. It's Saturn moving through the 8th house, which governs transformation and shared resources. That might bring up some deep emotional stuff to work through. It might even feel like a cosmic relationship boot camp at times. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom.
Honesty and really open communication are going to be crucial here, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. And then, as the year progresses, Jupiter steps into the spotlight, especially around June, and we start to see a shift towards more harmony and warmth in relationships. Existing bonds become stronger, and there's a good chance for new connections to blossom. The guide even mentions the full moon in February being especially favorable for those looking for love.
Well, mark your calendars, everyone.
Uh-huh.
Now, while we're on the topic of compatibility, what types of partners tend to vibe well with this unique Leo rising Taurus Sun energy?
The guide suggests that fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and other Leos, they usually resonate really well with Leo risings. You share that fiery energy and passion for life. You might find yourself drawn to their spontaneity and their zest for life. Earth signs like Virgo and Capricorn, they can offer stability and practicality, which can balance out your Taurus sun. But you might find that too much Earth energy could feel a little bit stifling to your Leo side. Air signs, with their intellectual curiosity, can be intriguing partners, but you might want to watch out for potential clashes between your need for attention and their desire for independence. And water signs might be a bit too emotionally sensitive for Leo's boldness, and that could lead to misunderstandings.
It's a delicate dance, finding that perfect balance of energies.
It is. And at the end of the day, the key for you is to find someone who appreciates your need for attention and admiration, but also provides that stability and grounding that your Taurus Sun craves. Someone who can weather the storms with you and celebrate the good times side by side.
Beautifully put. Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The connection between Taurus and psychic ability. Could you elaborate on that a little more?
Of course, Taurus is an earth sign, so it's deeply connected to the physical world and the five senses. And sometimes this connection to the tangible can manifest as a heightened intuition or even psychic abilities. It's almost like you can sense the subtle energies around you, the unspoken emotions, the undercurrents in different situations.
That's so fascinating. So our listener might realize they have a knack for reading people or sensing what's going to happen before it does.
Exactly. Pay attention to those gut feelings, those flashes of insight. Your intuition might be trying to guide you. And this is especially true during the worm moon in March, a time that's particularly significant for Tauruses. This lunar cycle is all about spring arriving, new life emerging from the earth. It symbolizes growth, fertility, and abundance.
The worm moon. Tell me more.
Well, in 2025, the worm moon is going to highlight themes of true love, creativity, children, and hobbies for you.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. Could this be a time when romantic relationships take center stage? Or maybe even starting a family?
It could be. Remember, the worm moon is all about embracing the abundance of life and finding those things that make your heart sing. Existing relationships might deepen, new love might enter your life, and you might feel a strong desire to nurture, whether it's children or creative projects. It's a time for things to blossom.
That sounds lovely. But the guide does mention that the latter half of 2025 might require some extra attention when it comes to health and well-being.
That's true. It is important to be mindful of those potential challenges as well. As we move into the later part of the year, you see Saturn's going to transition into the 8th house, and that house governs transformation and shared resources. So you might find yourself feeling a bit tired or just low on energy from time to time.
So maybe not the best time to be pushing ourselves to the limit then.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to really prioritize self-care during this time. Things like regular checkups, eating a balanced diet, finding ways to manage stress, those become even more important.
Really listening to our bodies and what they need, right? Always good advice, but especially important during those times when things could be a bit more challenging.
Exactly. And, that grounded, sensual nature of Taurus can really come into play here.
Oh, absolutely. Taurus is all about connecting with the physical world, enjoying those sensory pleasures.
Exactly. So this could be a time for you to really lean into the things that nourish your body and soul.
Things like spending time in nature, savoring delicious food, maybe treating yourself to a relaxing massage. Basically anything that helps you reconnect with your senses and recharge your batteries.
Right. And remember, it's not about depriving yourself or denying yourself anything. It's about finding that balance between enjoying life's pleasures and taking care of your body's needs.
It's like finding that sweet spot between that fiery Leo energy and that grounded Taurus energy, isn't it? A theme that seems to run through this whole cosmic forecast.
You got it. It's all about finding that harmony within ourselves and then expressing it out in the world. And speaking of expressing ourselves, let's talk about the numerology of 2025. The guide suggests it has a special meaning for you.
Okay, I'm all ears. What kind of numerological energy can we expect?
Well, 2025 vibrates with the energy of the number 7. And 7 is associated with introspection, spirituality, searching for deeper meaning.
7, the seeker, the mystic. That's interesting.
It is. This energy invites you to look inwards, to connect with your intuition and explore life's mysteries. It's a year for asking those big questions, seeking wisdom, and trusting your inner voice.
So it's not just about outward achievements this year. It's about going deeper and understanding yourself and your place in the universe.
Exactly. And for you, with your Leo Rising and Taurus Sun, this could manifest in a few different ways. You might feel drawn to spiritual practices like meditation or yoga, or you might find yourself exploring new philosophies or belief systems.
Maybe even diving deeper into astrology.
Maybe. The key is to follow your curiosity and let your intuition be your guide.
And how does this numerological energy of 7 interact with the Leo and Taurus influences we've been talking about?
That's a great question. Leo, being ruled by the sun, is naturally drawn to the spotlight. You want to express yourself outwardly, but that 7 energy is encouraging you to balance that outward expression with some introspection.
So not dimming your shine, but finding that balance between expressing yourself and reflecting on your inner world.
Precisely. And for your Taurus side, which is all about being grounded and practical, that 7 energy might spark a desire to explore the deeper meaning behind your material possessions and your relationship with the physical world.
So instead of just enjoying the finer things in life, you might start to ask yourself, why do I value these things? How do they contribute to my overall well-being?
Exactly. It's about finding that soul connection with everything in your life.
This is all starting to paint a really fascinating picture of 2025, a year of outward achievement balanced with inner exploration, a year of building strong foundations in relationships while also deepening your connection with yourself.
And don't forget that potential for career success, creative expression, and even a spiritual awakening.
It's a lot to take in, but in a good way. Now, before we wrap up this part, I want to touch on one more point that the guide emphasizes, the importance of collaboration.
Ah, yes. This is a key theme for Leos in 2025. Sometimes Leos can tend to isolate themselves, to build walls around their hearts, especially when they're feeling vulnerable.
I can see how that fiery, independent nature might lead to that.
It makes sense. But 2025 is a year that encourages Leos to break down those walls and embrace the power of connection.
To realize that true strength comes from being vulnerable and allowing others to support us.
Exactly. And for you, this might mean reaching out to loved ones, building bridges instead of walls, and recognizing that you don't have to go through life's challenges alone.
It's a beautiful reminder that we're all in this together.
It really is. And with that in mind, let's move on to our final segment where we'll explore how you can make the most of these cosmic opportunities and navigate any challenges that may come up.
We are in the final part of our deep dive into the 2025 cosmic forecast for the Leo Rising Taurus Sun man.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We've talked about that dynamic mix of fire and earth energies, those potential challenges and those really exciting opportunities. And of course, we've explored the numerological and astrological influences that are shaping your path.
We've covered love, career, health, and even the importance of balancing masculine and feminine energy. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier. You talk about 2025 being a hero's journey for our listener.
Oh, yeah. It's a powerful way to think about this year's cosmic landscape, you know? Every hero's journey, it involves facing those challenges, overcoming obstacles, and coming out on the other side, transformed.
So how does that apply to our listener specifically? What kind of transformations might he experience in 2025?
Well, remember those potential relationship delays we discussed. Those challenges, even though they can be frustrating, can actually lead to much deeper levels of intimacy and commitment. You might have to face some uncomfortable truths, maybe redefine your role in a partnership, or even let go of relationships that aren't serving you anymore.
So it's not just about getting through the tough times, it's about using those challenges to grow and create a deeper connection.
You got it. And when it comes to your career, those opportunities for success and abundance, they're not just about material gain. It's about stepping into your potential as a leader, finding work that aligns with your soul's purpose, and making a real difference in the world.
Finding that sweet spot where passion meets purpose.
Exactly. And even those potential health challenges we talked about, they can be like a wake-up call, a push to make positive changes. They might encourage you to prioritize self-care, maybe adopt some healthier habits, or really deepen your connection with your body and its wisdom.
So instead of seeing these challenges as setbacks, we can see them as chances to learn, to grow, and to become a more empowered version of ourselves.
Absolutely. That's what the hero's journey is all about. It's not about avoiding challenges or trying to have a life without any obstacles. It's about facing those challenges head on with courage, learning from them, and becoming stronger, wiser, and more in tune with our true purpose.
And I think that's such a beautiful message for all of us, no matter what our astrological blueprint looks like. Life is full of ups and downs, twists and turns. But it's how we handle those challenges, how we choose to learn and grow from them, that really shapes our journey.
Well said. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought. The stars, they might guide us, but ultimately, we are the ones in control of our own destiny. We have the power to choose how we respond to the cosmic energies around us, how we create the life we want.
So as you move through 2025, remember to embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and trust that the universe is always working to support your highest good.
And if you'd like to go even deeper into your own unique astrological blueprint, we invite you to check out our personalized recorded audio readings. You'll find the link to purchase those readings in the description below.
Until next time, keep illuminating your cosmic path.